Hey everyone, welcome to Tech with Hash. I'm Harshita, and today I wanted to talk about how to land a developer role in one of the big four companies or the FAANG companies. About a year ago, I applied for AWS and I couldn't even get through the first round. After banging my head around for a bit, I realized I was prepping completely wrong. Once I changed that, I was able to land an SDU role in AWS about 6 months ago. So today I wanted to share some of my resources and the way I prep to help you guys in your journey. So this video is going to be 4 parts. First, we'll talk about the general interview process and what you can expect from an interview with these big companies. And second, we can talk about the different coding resources and tools that you can leverage. And 3, we'll go through how to use these company values as your strength so you can ace the behavioral interview. And 4, we'll talk about interviewing in times like these amidst COVID. It's a bit crazy for all of us. So how to ace a virtual interview is also something that we'll talk about. So I hope you guys are ready for this. So let's get started. All right, let's get into the interview process. So the first step, you'll have a call with the hiring manager. This is a pretty basic call, but also a very important one. This call is where the hiring manager explains to you what kind of roles they have available and a little bit about the company and the culture. This is a very nice place to kind of get your answers about the company, its culture, and the role so that you can use it later on in your phone interviews or in your behavioral interviews, and you can show that you are really vested in the company. And this is also a call where the hiring manager understands your background and has an idea of if you are the right fit for the position. And once this goes through and after this call, you will be given a link to a coding interview. So this is going to be an online coding interview that you will have to take within a week or 2. So when you're applying, make sure that you've already prepped for the online coding interview so that once you get it, get the link, you can almost just take the interview. Let's get into the coding resources. You might have heard this a gazillion times, but I'm going to say it again. Please read the book, Cracking the Coding Interview. It has all the resources that you need to understand the coding interview process and what these companies expect from you and the different ways that you might be questioned and the hints that the whoever is interviewing you might give you. So I really enjoyed this book, and it really gave me a lot of pointers on how to approach a coding question and how to take hints from the interviewer. And this also has a very nice section based on how much time you have left before your interview on what are the topics that you have to touch. Say your data structures, like you might not have a lot of time to get into like AVO trees and red-black trees and all of that, which is completely fine based on the role that you're applying for. So all of these nuances are very well documented in this book. So please read it. This should be your first point when you're preparing for a coding interview. And second, you might have also heard this, LeetCode. If you're thinking about if you should get that subscription or not, please get it. This is no way sponsored by LeetCode, but please get the subscription. This will unlock a lot of stuff for company-based questions and mock interviews, which really help you to get a sense of what questions you're expecting you might get in these interviews and how and what concepts these companies usually test on. They always have a pattern. So please go through these questions. There are some sections called as top 100 Amazon questions, top 100 Google questions. Try to do all of them if you have time. If you don't, try to do at least the top 50 and take a look at the others. And there's also a section where you can see the most recently asked questions or most frequently asked questions, which is also a very nice way to prep. And I think LeetCode also has this forum where you can see the latest interview experiences, which gives you an idea of what that particular location is or that particular team is looking for in the person that they want to hire. So definitely do LeetCode and do the Cracking the Coding Interview book. And on the side, if you do have time or if you're too stressed out with all of this, Code Wars is a really nice website where you can just like code for fun, and you can try out different katas, and it's very, very nice to just like take your head off of these things for a bit and just code for fun. So definitely try that out too. Cool. Now for the third section of the interview process, which is the behavioral interview. This is a very important interview and it's often overlooked by us developers. I'm guilty of doing it. I usually spend a day or two before the interview and it's almost never worked out for me. I recommend at least a week or two before the interview to get to know the company, like look into the company website, dig through, look at their values and principles and the company's mission. Try to form at least like 2 or 3 situations that you would have dealt with which pertain to these values, so that when they test you on these values, you'll be able to answer with these situations. And also be sure to format it in a STAR technique so that they understand where you're coming from and how the situation occurred and what were the actions that you took for it. This is a very important thing, and there are a number of resources on YouTube on how to answer these questions. I will post them. I'll post all of the links below. I had this YouTube channel, I'm blanking on its name, but it had all of the Amazon's leadership principles, what each principle meant, what are the questions that they'll ask for these principles, and what are the answers that they expect to have. So please spend some time and base all of your answers on these values. And it's also a really nice way to see if you as a person would fit into that company, not only the company testing you on it. So this should definitely help you in your behavioral. So values are the principles of the company. Definitely go through them, and that should help you in this. All right, for the final step, we have the on-site virtual interview. It used to be an on-site interview before, but because of COVID, it's a virtual interview. So this is going to be a little bit different from your other on-sites. Usually on-sites have a lunch interview, and we will not be having that because it's virtual. You're going to have like 5 rounds, and each round is going to be a little bit of behavioral and a little bit of coding. Because we don't have an option to whiteboard, you'll be using an online IDE, which is actually a nice pro for us, because us developers, or at least me, whiteboarding is a completely new ecosystem. So even good developers get very nervous and like screw it up. So having an IDE like kind of helps, or at least just using your laptop to code helps, come across that nervousness and be comfortable in your system. So that's a very nice pro for the virtual interviews. So definitely practice, online coding. You're not expected to finish the entire code as you would in an IDE, but you should also write something more than a pseudocode so that they understand how your workflow is, and how you design your code, and what kind of variables names you give, and what are your function names. Do you follow conventions? Is it easy to read your code? And also be sure to optimize your code and talk about time complexities and space complexities. Like, this is very, very important. This is one of the major things that they look for. So definitely know your time complexities. If you don't know the question, or if you don't know an answer to the question, like definitely do brute force, but talk to whoever is interviewing you as a teammate, right? Like, you be a team player, talk to them. Try to get tips on like how to optimize it. And this is where the coding interview book comes along too. It gives you a list of tips that the interviewer might give you, and what these hints like pertain to. Like, if he gives this particular tip, it means like, oh, use a stack. If it says something else, use a hash map. So these are very, very nice key pointers that you can use in your interview. So definitely check out that book. I'm saying this again, but please check it out. So also another thing, because it's a virtual interview, be sure to have a very clean background. Don't have a busy background. This says a lot about you as a person, about how important this interview is for you. So always have a clean background so that the focus is entirely on you. Test your audio and video beforehand, because no matter how well you frame your answers and how well you speak or how well you do your interview, if the other person can't hear it, it's almost of no use. So please always check that. And also another thing that helps is get ready in the morning as you would for an on-site interview. This helps you get into the interview mood, and it'll definitely help you answer these questions better. Even though you're at the comfort of your home, you'll have the thing that, oh, it's my interview day today. So that definitely helps. So definitely do that, and try to be more communicative. Um, that is the pro tip. Like, be more communicative. Like, think of your interviewer as a teammate, and you guys are solving this problem together. So try to do that. And once you do that, it kind of speaks as to like how you fit into the team culture. So even if you don't know an answer to a question, if you are talking about optimization, if you are talking to that person as a teammate and you're seeing that, okay, this is where I'm stuck, so can I get help from a teammate? So this speaks a lot about you as a developer and as a person and as a teammate, which, even if you don't get to the answer, don't arrive at the answer, the team might be, what, we can train this person, we can work with this person, we admire this person. So they will have you on board. So definitely communicate, which is very, very important. That's all I have for today. Best of luck in your interview process. I will post the link for all of the resources that I used and a little bit more tips in the description below. Also, please post your interview experiences in the comments so I can see if this helped you. And also the others who come into this channel and watch this video will also have a reference pointed to these different interview experiences, which will definitely help them. So thank you so much for sitting through this entire video and listening to me. I hope this helps you. And if you don't get it on the first try, don't worry, be patient, be persistent. Everyone's journey is different, and sometimes the going does get hard. You will get there. So just be patient, practice, and you'll definitely land a job in the dream company. All right, thank you.